it's overshadowing everything in camp, right?
Right.
Everything. Like, who cares about Jair Brown and Debo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk? What are Trey Lance and Sam Darnold doing?
Right.
And it's kind of amazing because at the same time they're saying Brock Purdy's going to start week 1. So you have this sort of like backup quarterback competition, which is the focus of everything. And now that I've sat back a little bit, I feel like it's a sham. And here's why. If the Niners really wanted to know who's better, Trey or Sam, if this was a real competition, I think you'd have to give them the same script and call the same plays in the same sequence against the same coverages. Because if you don't do that, how do you really know which quarterback is better? I think you'd have to do that, and they're not. So to me, this is just a distraction until Brock comes back. I don't know.
Yeah, I do think that they know that if they're leaving it to the locker room to figure out who they want to lead, who they want to be the starting quarterback. I mean, out of John Lynch's own mouth, the first words he said was Brock is the leader in the clubhouse. Right there, he's letting you know that we go as the locker room goes. And that's kind of where I'm starting to understand that a true quarterback competition, the head coach is making the decision or the offensive coordinator, which in our case, we get 2 for 1, right? Kyle is all of those. So instead of Kyle being the head coach and the offensive coordinator who would be closest to knowing what the decision is, he's leaving it to how the locker room feels. And of course, if you're a player, you can't blame or look at any of the players for their perspective of getting behind Brock because they played with Brock, right? They went through the wins. It's hard to go through those wins and not say that this guy is not our leader. You know, I actually went through the bumps and bruises with him. However, if this was truly about finding out who the best option is, then we know that we would have to see more of Trey, right? So it would be pushing to get Trey on the field as much as possible. But 4 games is letting you know that what they've seen from Trey in practice is what is keeping him from getting the starting job from them.
And we're going to talk all about that. I like that topic, but I want to stay here for a second. To me, again, this is not a real quarterback competition. If these 2 guys were competing to start week 1, there would be much more urgency to make this fair, which is I don't know. I honestly don't know who's better, Sam or Trey. So here's the same script for both guys. And I'm not going to let the script leak out to Fred Warner and the defense beforehand. Like, we really have to know. You're going to talk to the defense like, we really need a good look here, guys. Don't cheat the drill. We need this.
Right.
But that's not what's happening because in their mind, well, they're hoping Brock Purdy comes back. So the way I see this is a distraction. This is a distraction to keep people from talking about the real conversation, which is Niners don't have a quarterback
thus far.
Well, also that, but also, what if Brock Purdy doesn't come back week 1 and doesn't have a miraculous comeback and doesn't pick up where he left off? There's a world where, you know, you're going with a quarterback that you don't have confidence in, either Trey or Darnold. You don't have a good year. Freaking Jimmy Garoppolo with the Raiders does, and you look really stupid. Like, all of those things could happen. We're not talking about that, though. We're talking about who's better, Trey or Sam. Who's better, Trey or Sam? Well, today Sam looked better. Well, today Trey looked a little bit better. Well, I don't know. I thought Trey looked. It's like, that's not the freaking point. The point is they think Brock's going to start week 1, and if it's not Brock, they don't really have confidence in either one. Meanwhile, Jimmy's closer to coming back than Brock is. And God forbid Jimmy has a better season than Brock, or Jimmy stays healthy and Brock doesn't. Like, that is 2013 Washington stuff. You can't get around that. Remember how high the Shanahans were in 2012, coming off that playoff appearance. All of a sudden, the next year they went 3-13. They tanked. Yeah, and is this all dependent on Brock coming back? I don't know.
It is. I mean, if you think about it, let's just go by
from their perspective.
Let's go from their perspective. It is all about Brock.
It's all about Brock.
Let's stop the Trey pushback. Let's stop the Sam Darnold dreaming. This is about Brock. Right?
Let's stop Brandon Allen, the Brandon Allen fantasy.
Brandon Allen, we're tremendous. We're extremely impressed with Brandon Allen. Okay, but if we're going to do it their way, let's stop fighting it. We'll do it their way. We're waiting on Brock to come back. So there really is no quarterback competition.
This is just wasting time.
Yeah,
This is just wasting time for content.
You've got your guy, and what you're doing is that what you're trying to say is that you're competing these guys for the number 2 spot. But this is the thing. What if Brock has a setback along the way? Then your quarterback competition gets real. Trey, Sam, and Brandon. Allen, and it becomes a real quarterback competition, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think, and then also if you just look at it from
the start, doesn't feel serious. It doesn't feel serious. It feels like it's like here media, focus on this so you don't talk about how we might go 7-10 this year and the Raiders might go 10-7. Don't talk about that. Just take this seriously.
Or look at it this way. Let's call it a competition because we don't really want you to focus on how we got all of our quarterbacks in different footing.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
So Sam, if we're really going to look at it, Sam is a retread, and this is his 3rd team, and he's learning his 3rd offense, and he's going through his 5th training camp. Correct. Trey is the asset who we spent on. We've played him once, got him hurt within 2 games. All right. He's broken his ankle, got better, had to go get mechanics together on his own, whatever. It's over.
But still, it's like the most breathtaking example of organizational malpractice I think we've ever seen. It's amazing. And people give him a total pass because they went to the NFC Championship game. Okay.
None of them, Brock, Sam, or Trey, are adequately equipped to go into a quarterback competition. None of them. No. So even if you want to, I'm a Trey guy. Let's just put I am, but I can't go at what Sam is doing versus what Trey is doing because Sam just got here. He just learned the offense. Right. And then when you look at all of the stuff that Sam is doing, how can I really juxtapose that against Trey? Sam's been through 5 training camps. He's been in the league for 5.
This is his 6th. This is his 6th. Yeah.
This is his 6th training camp. He knows the drill. I think Sam knows how to look good in practice. It's the games where we start worrying about Sam, right? Right. And then Brock essentially is going to be going through his first full training camp as a starter. He'll be
forget that. He's not going to be there he's not going to have training camp. He's not going to have preseason. He might have like 3 weeks of practice to get ready for week 1, maybe. If everything goes well.
Right. And the cloak of all of this is I feel like this is the scene of Gladiator where the gladiators get maimed and stabbed and their armor gets put on them before they go out to fight in front of everybody. And none of us have any idea what their ailments are. And Kyle and them are sitting back like, fight. You know what I'm saying?
We're good.
It's like good or bad. And it's just nah, bro. I understand that we want them all to be competitive. We want all of them to win. But the truth of the matter is that a quarterback competition is what is the best that you can do within your skill set, right? But for this team, the true winner of the quarterback competition is who fits in with the team the best. Who fits their role the best? Because the truth of the matter is that it's not even about who shines the best or does the most with their skills. It's who puts the ball where Kyle wants the ball the most. That's who's going to be the quarterback.
Right. And that's Brock in their eyes. That's Brock, and that's why. And so from their eyes, like, look, it's either Brock's going to be the quarterback this year or we have an excuse. That's exactly what I feel. They're not taking this quarterback competition seriously. It's not real. It's not fair. Sam, it's not fair to Sam. It's not fair to Trey. They're not running the same plays in the same order against the same coverages. It's just a distraction. So they want us to talk about this.
We're living life check to check, man.
Because there are bigger conversations at foot here that are way more uncomfortable. Like, how come the quarterback position has been a weakness for Kyle Shanahan every single year he's been a head coach ever? Why? And it's year 7. Like, how much? And he's trying to sell it as like, man, we got a great problem. No, you don't. You have a problem, not a good problem, not a great problem. I think it was crazy is they felt they had a get out of jail free card with Jimmy when Brock came along, and they did. But then Brock got hurt, and now you're in this weird position where, I mean, he's coming back from a really unprecedented. The only other quarterback ever who's had this injury is Nick Mullins, who's not a starter. So you don't really know what Brock's going to look like. And now Jimmy's actually closer to coming back than Brock is. So you are putting yourself in a position where this year you could look stupid. You could.
Yeah, I mean, what we really want is we want Brock to come back healthy and for their plan to work, right? But
that's what they want.
Yeah. Ultimately, we're not looking for a franchise quarterback. I understand that Brock shows promise, but let's be honest, it's not what Brock brings that the coaching staff it loves so much. It's
Right.
what he does, is how he accentuates everyone else.
Right.
So you have to ask yourself, is this really about Brock? Right? Is this really about his development? Is this really about to put him in the best position possible? Are we going to start drafting around Brock's strengths? Are we going, or is Brock just the best piece for what we already have going?